So here we are on Saturday of the third week. So I'm going to be going over week 2. I'm far behind on this, but that's not to say anything bad about week 2. Week 2 is possibly one of the most active weeks in all of WR64 history. We had an amazing amount of PBs, and it's mostly PBs this week, and an incredible amount of really decent runs. So week 2 starts off. We have July 8th was very slow for submissions. I hadn't released my last week's review yet, or the week before this. So week 2, we have DoctorFeesh starting off with Southern Island early. This comes into play over and over again throughout the week. You'll see in Southern Island Reverse specifically. Many of the courses on this list have their leaderboards have been changed forever because of this week. So you see him getting a PB early on in the week, and Ilu claiming the top time right away, 105.320. Quite an excellent Sunset Bay, but not a PB for him. Androgen PBing, a very nice Sunset Bay, 105.4 early on in the week. Shippy Pod putting in a Southern Island low 114, where he gets 113 the next day. Metalhead we have on Sunset Bay Reverse. This course didn't receive that much attention this week, and this is an actual his improvement to the Sunset Bay Reverse is a 109.063, and that's the first run that I want to look at here from July 10th. So this is quite an excellent run here by Metalhead. He 109.0 is very close to 108, and I suspect the next time he returns he would get a 108. But this is a very smooth run for Metalhead, and ends up being his PB for this entire event for this level. I'm just gonna let my cat out while you watch this video.
Nothing special. Okay. Maximum power.
Alright, now we shouldn't have him squawking in the background. So this is quite a difficult course. Or at least I found it difficult this time returning to it to get anywhere. There's a lot of specific details you need to get right here, and Metalhead does a really good job. .109.063. Very nice PB for Metalhead. Congratulations. So July 10th, we have Kirchinator coming back from last week. He put in some work on week 2 here. Sunset Bay 106.7. That was his first 106, if I recall correctly. Or maybe it was just a second PB that was good. AS Money come in with Southern Island, almost hitting that 114. That's pretty much it for July 10th. July 11th, we have Shippy Pod actually got 1.001 behind Ilu, same frame here, but with a 1. So he had to revisit that later in the week, which we'll see. We have Annie Panther getting a 106.4, and Metalhead as well getting a 106.4 on Sunset Bay. This is started the part of the week where Sunset Bay starts getting some huge competition for third. And Metalhead just barely scrapes by him with a 420. My Pancakes getting in there just behind these two, all very close to each other. And again, Metalhead improving his time twice on the same day here. Metalhead went pretty hard on week 2 on Sunset Bay Reverse especially. Southern Island Reverse, we have DoctorFeesh coming back with a 121, 111, very close to 120. He starts whittling it down throughout the week, and Southern Island Reverse in particular ended up having its leaderboard completely changed. The top 10 looks completely different, and it's a lot. There's a lot more 121s and low 122s. And that's what we see from Androgen, Andy Panther. I got a low 122, which I'll be submitting probably next. I'll just be uploading it like next week or something. It didn't medal, so I ended up not uploading it. And a high 122. So we've got a lot of Southern Island Reverse here on July 11th. So Ipsum, this is a guy, he's a brand new player. He's from Spain, has an excellent attitude and energy about him, and I'm really looking forward to see what he's doing in the future. He's one of our new PAL, he's a PAL player, PAL exclusive, so this time has been converted from PAL to NTSC, and he's an awesome guy. I definitely recommend checking out his YouTube channel for anyone. He's anyone who speaks Spanish. He has reviews and stuff. Seems like he really puts a lot of work in for his videos. Hayate coming in with a PB here on Southern Island, and I believe, yeah, that's what I wanted to look at next. Here, this is Hayate's Southern Island 114.468. He's dubbed in his own music here. This is a very clean run, so I'm just gonna sit back and watch mostly. That going underneath that buoy is something that's without losing much speed seems to be something I need to invest learning in for this. Oh, by the way, my camera is off because of technical difficulties. I was struggling throughout this week with technical difficulties setting up my computer, but everything's good now. I'll try and get a webcam up for next week. So I believe this ends up taking like 5th or 4th place on the course. Quite an excellent run. Hayate showing he can still return to just about any of these courses and PBs whenever he wants. So congrats on the PB, Hayate. We've got DoctorFeesh on Southern Island getting his, looks like his first 114 here, a nice PB here. Southern Island 116, yeah. And more Sunset Bay Reverse. Androgen with the 109.5, quite an excellent run. But here I want to show the first 120 from DoctorFeesh. He worked pretty much throughout the whole week just getting this one time. I think he PB'd on it 5 or 6 times at least that I know of in the week, and this is the result. He has his first 120 here. 120 is currently the benchmark, so congratulations on another benchmark. Feesh, quite an excellent run here. I think now would be an appropriate time to acknowledge that I am going to be giving my most valuable player award to DoctorFeesh for the second week of the WR64 2018 Olympics. Feesh PB'd on every single course, and on this course multiple times. He ended up really challenging a number of other players to improve their times, and was a great community force during this week, the second week here. In addition, he also helped me out with some submissions, putting them down in the spreadsheet. So thank you very much for your help, DoctorFeesh. Congrats on 120. It's an excellent run. His help didn't factor into him being the MVP, but it is much appreciated. And you'll see here, just DoctorFeesh keeps coming up in the names here as you scroll up and down this second week list. He's again, Androgene is doing a lot here. There's a lot of players doing a lot here, but in terms of people that really raise the bar for themselves during the Olympics and also for others, and were kind of an inspiring force, DoctorFeesh easily gets the MVP award for week 2. So July 13th we have ShibiPod bringing the Sunset Bay level down to below where Ilu had it, and more PBs from Kirchinator. Game with a 108.6 on Sunset Bay reverse. This is a good time, not a PB for him, but a good time to post for the Olympics in terms of competitive placings. He did, however, get a 128.20 PB on Southern Island reverse, so that's quite sick from July 13th. But yeah, you see the difference between DoctorFeesh and Game here. Game is a much higher ranked player, but they have similar scores, and that tells you how good of a time this really was for DoctorFeesh. We've got AS Money. AS Money has been putting in work the entire Olympics, but has just not been recognized as MVP as of yet. He's played a lot above his level, and I think he even has a medal or two. But I'm not gonna focus on medals for these reviews here. I want to celebrate all of these players. And speaking of which, like Ipsum, very nice Southern Island reverse. This has a pretty good pop off. I like Ipsum. I'm looking forward to seeing more from him possibly. Hello 122 from Metalhead, 123.4 from Kirchinator. These players are all putting in a ton of work. Sunset Bay 105.27, and this is the first game video we're watching today. Quite an excellent PB here from Game. I was quite surprised to see this, the time in the submission. He's easily good enough for this time, but it's a significant jump for sure. This is one of the best Sunset Bay runs ever, and I believe this holds 3rd place or 2nd place on the leaderboard. Very smooth turns here. This is a little bit above my level, so I'm kind of at a loss for words for commentating it. It's quite something to see Game. Obviously, he got the reward from last week, but he's really trying at every single course, it seems like, and he's done a great job this Olympics. So congrats on 105.2 game, an excellent run here. So that leaves us with one run left here. And it's another Southern Ireland verse. Let's see. July 14th. It's the same day. Okay. So we've got Jim B here. This guy hasn't really shown up too much, but he's a PAL exclusive player. And just like with Ipsum, in the Olympics, we're going to be converting the PAL players' times to NTSC times as best we can, or as accurately as we can. There's no real way to accurately do that. And then rank it against. And he starts getting some good PBs here on July 14th. Puts in some work. Bob Canoosh coming in. Hayate, another PB on Southern Ireland. Wow. This week was incredible. Week 2 was absolutely incredible. And at the very end, I wanted to show a PAL video because we haven't seen any of those so far. This is Platinum Races, aka Jim B. He is mainly a Blue Storm runner, Wave Race Blue Storm, but he's been trying at some of the PAL times on WR64 as well. And this time actually beats my previously untied world record in PAL Southern Island Reverse. This is a good opportunity to show kind of what PAL looks like. He has this stretched a little bit to fit a 16:9 resolution, but you can see kind of the slow play of PAL. The PAL version ends up in-game timer being a lot slower, but when you convert it, there's a potential that it does, because the gameplay is so slow, that it will allow for a higher level of execution for the same player. And we have separate leaderboards for that reason. They're not really comparable in terms of the versions and how hard it is to actually get times. This is equivalent to a low 122 and in NTSC, but it is a little bit easier to get on the PAL console, so that's something to keep in mind. Regardless, the PAL leaderboards actually don't have many video submissions. Most of them are for, historical records from a decade or more ago, and I really do want to encourage people to try out PAL if they're in exclusive regions. It's not the most popular thing in our community, but I'd like to see it get more competitive in the future. So congrats to Jim B on his Southern Island Reverse PAL world record. That means we technically had a world record for each week so far of the 2 weeks. And that really sums it up for week 2. Obviously, this is the end of week 3 that I'm recording this at, so there's lots of submissions underneath here, and I'm looking forward to reviewing those all before getting into week 4 with. So that's my review for week 2 of the Wave Race Olympics 2018. Thank you all for watching, and take care.